morning, viewers, and welcome to the Youth Flex show, which is taking place for the first time here at Nisi Television. This is a platform where we'll discuss matters youth, the youth and ministry, careers, love and life. And today we are going to focus specifically on leadership and youth. And as we can remember, we already say that this is something that will be coming up every Fridays, and it will be taking place from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I am Achieng Faith, and I will be taking you through this program. So today here with me, I have a guest who is a young person, and his name is Wycliffe Omondi. He's a PA in University International Leadership. I'll hope and pray that we are all going to have a great conversation and you're going to learn more from us. The young people out there, and even if you're not young, you can just listen to us, and you can also contribute via all our platforms as at Nisi Television. Thank you. So let's turn to our guest now. Could you tell us more about yourself? I only know your name. Yes, so you can just start by telling us about yourself, so that we can know more.
Okay, thank you, Faith, and thank you for hosting me today. It's really a great morning, and I'm so glad to be here. Yeah. So my name is Wycliffe Omondi, as you've rightly put it. Yes, I work at International Leadership University as the personal assistant to the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of academic affairs. Yes. So I'm also a church youth leader in my local church. Yeah. And beyond that, I also do some leadership involvement and trainings for campus, college and university students. I'm also I also lead the leadership and capacity building part of Scholar Bridge Initiative. An initiative that helps to, to bring equity in terms of education for vulnerable children. Yeah, mostly in Kibra or maybe in slums.
Nice. Guys, you have heard what he has said, like he's a whole package. Wycliffe, we are so glad to have you this morning. Thank you for creating time to be here and to say something to that may help somebody outside there, right? Okay. Yeah, so we are talking about leadership, right? So according to you, what do you think leadership is?
Okay, there are different definitions of leadership. Yeah. But largely, and that has been commonly used is, leadership is the ability to influence. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about leadership, we have a leader, maybe the person in front, and the followers. Yeah. So the ability of the person in front to mobilize and to influence those who are behind him or behind her. So that is, in a nutshell, that is what I will define as leadership. Looking at it as just being able to influence a group of people, a team, or even yourself. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like what you can impact on others, right?
Sure.
In the society at large. But I also think, in as much as we are impacting people behind, we can also impact the people who are ahead of us.
That's
right?
true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because at times I find that as young leaders, we are also given responsibilities that are also above. These responsibilities that we are given, we are also leading people that are also above us. Like, it's not only the people that are behind us.
Yes.
Or maybe the people of the same age group. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all round, right?
It is all round. Maybe you may want to look at it as a vertical kind of leadership. Yeah. Where the people are below you, maybe you will say age here, or you will say people who are younger than you, or maybe you being in the capacity higher than them. And then there are those who are even the opportunity and the privilege, and the honor just to guide even those who are above you, in that angle. So I would look at it as a vertical approach of leadership, but also there is that peer leadership, which I will look at it as an horizontal kind of leadership. Leading your peers. Not older than you, not younger than you. You're in the same bracket. Maybe if it's class, social status, or whatever. So you are all equal in that platform. I look at an horizontal kind of leadership.
Okay, that is still fine. Though for me, you see, at times it does not matter the age. For example, in an institution, like for example yours, you find that you are maybe you can find that maybe the person who is the HR or maybe an assistant HR outside there or in that institution is a young person. But then again, if you look at the kind of people that he or she is leading, unapata kwamba kuna wale watu wenye wako yani wamemshinda kwa umri, or they are above her in different ways. So I also think leadership for a young person cuts across. It can be horizontal, it can be vertical, it can be in all kinds of manners. So looking at another thing, what motivated you to be a leader? Ulikuwa uko na dreams za kuwa leader ukiwa mdogo? When people are young, like for example me, when I was young, I used to say I want to be, you see, normally we envy the big positions when we are young, and we say I want to be a hostess, for example. I want to be a pilot. You see such kinds of thoughts. And then I also think it depends with where you come from or how you were brought up. It can also influence your leadership skills. So as Wycliffe, what motivated you to become a leader? Is this something that started when you were young, or it just came from somewhere?
I think now this is where the question, are leaders made or are leaders born comes in. I think both will apply. Being born, being made, both will apply, because there are some who are just, it's charisma, it's just within them to be leaders. For me, I will not say that, it's something that has grown gradually over time. It's not like I wanted to be, specifically a leader, but something that, as God opens opportunities and, maybe being frontline from the family, though I'm not the firstborn in my family, but just taking up some responsibility as I grow up, coming in school. Shockingly, I've never been a prefect in school, apart from maybe, I think it was class 6 where I was a bell ringer. That's why I'm saying that some of these things come with the platforms that come with them. But really, even though I was exposed to leadership while I was young, seeing how leaders are operating to some extent, I actually loved watching news from a tender age.
And what thoughts came to your mind when you are watching the news?
Just seeing I wanted even to be an MP, because politics was really exciting. So really, but then coming to see that, does that really bring satisfaction to that extent? But then what now happens is that platform, that engagement from primary, then coming to secondary school, again, just having an opportunity to have a conversation with those who are prefects. So I was so close to them, and somehow, somewhat guiding. Unaka advisors, yes, exactly. You are not a prefect, but somehow you are regarded as one, by virtue of you just being so close to them and offering that guidance. But I think there was a change in campus. When I joined campus, that's when now this responsibility really came, leading in the Christian Union, of my campus. So now that's where leadership really struck in. And then it's now beyond
What position were you in the CU?
In campus, in my Christian Union, I led the media. The media, I was in the executive committee of the Christian Union and leading the media ministry.
Department.
Yeah, exactly. And then now coming back from campus to church and now taking up the leadership mandate of leading the youth. So it's basically the skills that have been growing over time, and then the platforms, the opportunities, the exposures and the experience that come with that now really transforms and makes me, those are the opportunities that really made me think about leadership, but also what made me desire so much leadership and have that zeal for leadership is the need that is in the society.
Okay,
yeah, the need, the challenges, the problems, having been raised from not a well-off background,
and just seeing, so we call it a humble
background. A humble background, and just seeing what really can be done to support and to help the society. Those are some of the mix of things that really made me to.
So for you, it's the how you the bringing up
exactly
that motivated you to be a leader.
Yeah, there's high influence to it.
Okay, okay. That's also very good. I think every person, every leader has their own motivations. Some of them become leaders maybe because they want to be. They have a role model up there, or maybe because their parents. There are some people who are influenced by their parents to be leaders. Some people are just influenced by maybe whatever they see, like you, the society, that need that is in the society. And then, for example, I have someone who became a leader because of whatever they were going through, because of whatever the parent was going through. That motivated her, and she said, now I want to do this. I want to be this leader to be able to help this kind of situation ndio isifanyike tena. Yeah, because whatever happened, it can be bad. Whatever happened was a bad thing, and that really pushed her to be that leader, that person, in order to bring change or in order to help the others. So that such a bad thing cannot occur again, right? And that also, I think, happens with maybe in careers too. Yeah. So I think the influence is just it also cuts across in a youth's life or a young person's life. Yeah. Though some of those dreams starts when we are young, some of them when we are older. Yeah, like yours, I think it started ilianza hapo kwa nini.
Yes. Maybe I can also add that, also being raised and being a believer being a believer, there are elements of leadership that comes with that and responsibility, especially after following Christ, a believer who follows Christ and just looking at Christ and how the servanthood in him and all that. Exactly. So there's this misconception that for leadership you must have maybe title for you to be regarded as a leader. Yes, that's what I was saying, that I was not really, like, I didn't have a platform to be a prefect apart from maybe the moment that I was a bell ringer. But you see, there's that element of being leaders without titles. It's also there that you really do not need to have a title for you, for example, to be called, if you are prefect in school, or you are maybe a youth leader in church, or whatever. It's the ability to see the responsibility and the need that is there, especially for you as a Christian, looking at Christ and asking, what will Christ want in this setting, or in this, what do I need to do? Yeah, what do I need to do?
In this situation, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly, and taking responsibility to do it.
Yeah, that also, that is a good one. I think it also showcases your skills, the abilities that you show there. I think they will also portray you as a leader. In a situation where maybe there is no solution, and then you provide that solution, not because you are a leader, maybe even the leader. For example, if it's we say in a situation where you're maybe in a CU, for example, and then something comes up, sindio, and unapata kwamba the leader is not even there, yeah, and now you act upon it, and then the solution is provided. Yeah, I think that is a good one. Yeah, that is also a good perspective. Yeah. In as much as we have different types of leadership, like authoritative, dictative, and all that, right? Yeah, so I think we can also look at it in that direction, that you don't have to hold a title for you to be a leader, but the skills and the abilities that you or the actions that you take in a situation that needs to be acted on, it define your comba. You are also a leader. Especially as a, let's say, as a Christian, maybe, or not necessarily, but I think that is also another perspective. Yeah. So Wycliffe, I think that also answers how you discover that you can actually lead. Yeah. How you yani uligunduaje ya kwamba sasa you can now lead?
Funny, I was doing personality test a few days ago, just again to
confirm,
to keep learning, and I realized, and I was even doubting that, you know, I'm not a natural leader. Of course, from the feedback of the test, because there are some, and just taking us back to the first question that you had asked about being a natural leader or just learning along the way. So, you know, in my case, like, I would be hesitant to take responsibility, though other people outside there see that really you can do this thing, you know, they can even keep on pesting you. You can do this thing, you can lead us when people are getting, for example, I would really love to be a facilitator, not a director.
Okay.
Or just facilitating things and seeing things move, and mobilizing people and doing that. To some extent, just enjoying to serve under somebody. And that's why I'm saying that over the platforms that I've gotten in life, that is what I've brought out, that zeal and the zeal and the perspective and the definition of really what leadership is all about. Because for sure, to some extent, that we can always see the need.
Yeah.
We can always see the need.
Yeah, that is so
possible. But now taking action towards the need.
Is where the problem
so because there are people who are actually leaders, but they can't do anything. It is possible. There are people who they're actually leaders, but they don't do anything until they are triggered. Somebody is there at the back, man. No wonder you do not need to disregard anybody within the community that you are in, or the context that you are in, because they can tell you, and always learn to get feedback from people. Always learn to listen to people, always learn to hear what people are saying, because they can actually help you to understand that really there are some skills, there's some God's gift.
Qualities.
The qualities that we can see in you that you cannot see. Just the thing that, the quadrant, there's some hidden place that you also cannot know about yourself.
Only
God knows, and also people can really tell you that, hey, Faith, really, we know you can do this thing, do it. Do it. So that is how, to some extent, that I've learned about the leadership need within me.
That is nice. So do you think there are ways of becoming like a sustained leader? Because you see, leadership is like there are times that it keeps on changing. Like one time you're in leadership, and then the next time you're not there. And I think maybe it's because of different reasons. I don't know. But what do you think? Are there ways of being a sustained leader, like you can sustain that leadership title? Are there ways?
That's a very good question. You know, I'll respond to it by just looking at our politics, for example, outside now the place of the title and politics itself. You realize, for example, in the political arena, if you are elected, then you are a leader. If you are not elected, you even cease some ceased to even to support their community because they were supporting because they had been elected. They wanted, you know, that fame or whatever. It should not be so, especially for a Christian or just generally. It should not be so. What we need to do is we actually need to look at leadership in the front of character and calling. You know, character and calling in itself, such that what sustains you, it is not the opportunity at that moment. It is not the opportunity at that moment that makes you to be called a leader. And that's why I'm saying that even if you are born a leader or just a natural gifted leader, you really need to be sustained, whether you have a title or do not have a title, whether you are at the forefront or you are at the back. So whether you've been appointed at that moment or you have not been appointed at that moment, there is always something that you can do. So there is need for you to have this fire continue. So whether you've been elected, for example, or maybe you are leading maybe a band somewhere, or maybe if you are not leading a band somewhere, you are still at that moment a leader. It's only that you do not have maybe a title attached to your leadership. So I think there is that need to keep us sustained. Always go back to why was I a leader at in the beginning? Why was I a leader? So if you know that if your leadership comes from men, then it will end if that title moves. But if you know that your leadership comes with the responsibility and God has ordained you to be a leader at that moment, then it will continue, whether you have been recognized that title or you are not being recognized the title.
Thank you, Wycliffe. Now I want to go to something else. You mentioned about a personality test. So that you took recently, right? And I know you have the results. So do you think that personality dictate or affects who a leader should be in normal circumstances? The personality of someone, does it affect how someone leads or the kind of a leader that someone should be? Those tests are good. Those tests are good because they help you, especially if you are leading within their team dynamics. The team dynamics. Also, you'll always want to know yourself and know your members. And knowing yourself and knowing your members, because there are lots of things that are true. They influence the team dynamics. For example, the background, what makes you behave the way you're behaving. So unless you do a self-assessment, a self-assessment of yourself, you'll want to know who really you are. You want to know who really you are. Of course, you understand that your identity is found in Christ. But there are those elements. For example, why do you behave the way you behave? You are in a team, for example. Are you a director or you are a cheerleader? You know, those people really don't talk much, but their action are seen. Or those who are action-oriented, but they don't really talk much, or they're people-oriented, oriented and all that. So you really want to understand who really you are, so that when you are giving your services to the people that have been entrusted to you, it's a service from a point of knowledge that I'm doing this because this is who really I am. But a disclaimer, when you're doing that personality test, you should not sit relaxed after that. It should help you understand your weaknesses as well, not only strengths. See your weaknesses and also work towards your weaknesses. Areas to what you can improve about yourself, what you see you are lacking, so that you may also appreciate other people have what you do not have, and the gaps that are therein. So that, and that's why this that need. But again, I think I keep wondering. You see. For example, a personality test that in personality tests, for example, introverts, for example, and extroverts. So you see, extroverts are these outgoing people. Like me, I'd say I'm an extrovert, like an all-round person. You you're just you're there, and people can even see it. You're this hyperactive person, not in a bad way, and then there are these introverts who are so reserved. So I keep wondering, in that case, do you think it can affect how they lead? Will their leadership be the same, or will there be a difference in some kind of way? Yeah, what is the bottom line? Is, are they different or are they the same in their leadership style? Because I think leadership should just be leadership, and the qualities are supposed to be maintained all round by everyone, despite their personalities, right? Yeah, so I think the qualities of a leader should like cut across when we get there. And now when this personality thing comes now, then it becomes kind of
actually, yeah, that personality should not really discourage you. It really, because we are all unique. We in our own way. Yeah, we are all unique, very different people, and we have different strengths and different weaknesses. One may have a strength, and this and because you are working as a team, there's as you work as a team, then you realize that you are feeling, it's like a the seesaw. One part feels the other part, and there are those qualities like being able to make decisions, being able to mobilize, being able to influence, being able to lead a team, and all that, and maybe even and also the character itself. But then when you come to personality itself, you realize that we are unique, and the need for you to do those tests is to help you really appreciate who really you are and why, for example, you behave the way you behave. So that you may want to say that you are outgoing or you are you're introverted, but even both sides make good leaders. Both sides make good leaders, provided you are equipped, you are trained, and you are able to influence and also understand why you have that opportunity at that moment to lead the kind of group that you're leading.
So I think it's the qualities of a leader that should like dictate how everyone leads, despite their personality, because now you see the qualities they are like all the same for every leader. For example, in a Christian based situation, if the qualities of a leader should be a good time manager, such things, they are supposed to cut across despite your personality, and that should help you to give out the best as a leader, right? And do whatever is required. So what kind of a leader would you say you are? Utaweza sema ni a leader aina gani? Kwa mfano, if someone would ask you if the people you are leading, the people you are leading are there, and if you ask them, guys, what do you think? Mnafikiria aje kuhusu wiki? Mnafikiria what kind of a leader do you think he is?
That's a very it's easy question and it's hard question to respond to. It is easy because one may choose to beat his own chest, say maybe good and nice things about himself, and about myself. It is hard also because you need to get the perspective, the external perspective of what people think you are. The question, who do people say I am? So it is easy, it is also difficult. But looking at myself,
look at you yourself, how can you define yourself? Because you also have to have a definition of yourself. Because it starts from the you yourself, and then now it gets out there, and you see watu wanaona, though I know there are people's opinions, but now yours is also there as a person. Where do you stand?
I think for me, I embrace a mix of servant and transformational leadership. Servant in the case of where I will take leadership not really as a privilege, but as a burden to you want to offload, to support, a burden to lead others. Like it is not really a privilege. Like I will say that you've been appointed to be, and then I'll be like, hey, I'll really be
about it.
Yeah. So the servant to the nature, that just choosing to go low, that and to see other people rise in my leadership context.
Yeah.
Talking about transformative is where looking, you know, I try to identify the needs,
yes,
and see what really are the solutions to the problem
sure,
that are ailing. Is it the structure? Is it the system? What really is the problem? And coming up with, you know, a strategic way of how to deal with the problem. Some of these things, exactly, some of these things may be a short-term strategy or even a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
But the end of it all is to see what is the solution that you can give to this. So
the end product has a solution.
Exactly. So I will say that it's actually a blend of a servant and transformational leadership.
Okay, and on that, you see there are different kinds of leaders, right? We have dictative, we have authoritative. Yeah. So is there a point where you as a leader, you see, when you're leading people, like me, when you're leading people, there are different kinds of personalities, there are different kinds of people with different backgrounds, and some of them you cannot even know, like all of them. So I want us to look at it. You as a leader, are you able to? Is it possible to apply all other qualities, not qualities but types of leadership in some cases? So think about it, and then we go for a short break. When we come back, we pick it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is good health? How do we attain and maintain healthy living? We have answers concerning communicable, lifestyle, genetic and non-genetic diseases. Join me, Cecilia Mariri, and our medical experts every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for informative and educative conversations. This is the 911 show on Nisi Television, where we transform lives through media.
Hello everybody, it's a sound of praise and worship to whom created us. Join me, Joy Temba, every Sunday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. live on Nisi Television for live Sunday service that is filled with the presence of God through worship, word, and encouragement.
If you gotta be for me, we'll love you, Lord. You will live for.
Yesu kasema mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ndiye mkulima. Tawi lote lizaalo litapaliliwa, lile ambalo halizai litakatwa. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Bwana asifiwe sana wapendwa. Majina yangu naitwa Mbogwa GK, nimeokoka. Mimi ni mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili. Na ukitaka kubarikiwa na huo wimbo wangu Mzabibu, uta SMS jina Skiza 1069056, kisha utume huo ujumbe kwa 811 na utakuwa umejipatia Skiza tune yangu ya wimbo Mzabibu, na Bwana atakuwa amekubariki sana. Bwana awabariki nyote.
Wa kweli naye baba yangu ni mkulima, kila tawi lisiloza uliondoa na kila tawi
Welcome back to our conversation. I hope you are learning something. Make sure you get out with at least a thing. Juu ukienda place hata kama ni church, saa zingine hata kama usikii kitu, normally as a youth unatokanga na something like one thing. So I hope that out of whatever we have said since we started, umepata kakitu, right? Yeah, so thank you guys for those who are watching. I can see Emma Juma tuned in from Mombasa. That is our great fan. Thank you so much. Bernard Obande, our guru. Maxwell Lawrence following. Agote Elfans from Busia. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you for giving us your time. Continue staying with us because we have great things coming up. Now we are going on with our guest, Mr. Omondi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not supposed to. It should be the surname.
Yeah.
So Mr. Omondi is still here with us, and we are still going on with our conversation. So we stopped at somewhere where I asked you that at some point we find ourselves as leaders. There are times that you need to like use other styles of leadership when necessary. For example, authoritative. You are a transformative leader, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that at some point in time you are supposed to now bring in other kinds of leadership?
Yeah, of course, generally we'll talk about somebody who's really authoritative, so somebody who's democratic in nature, somebody who really wants to, or you want to please your team. But again, this is where now team dynamics influences how you are going to lead your people.
Yeah.
Because as a leader, you have a vision, you know where you want to go. You really need to make decision probably of where to go. There are some elements that there is room for involving other people and just showing them the direction. There are some times that you lose what others will call guided democracy.
Yeah.
Where of course you want us to go, for example, you want us to go for a trip in Nyeri.
Yes.
This is an example. You want your team to go for a trip in Nyeri. But then you know if you're going to make an open-ended request or a question that where do you people want us to go? You already understand the resources are limited at that time.
Yes.
You know your time and the planning is limited at that time. But some people will be like, yeah, let's go to maybe Arusha. Because there are good places there, or Seychelles, there are nice places there.
Yes.
But because you know maybe the resources are limited or whatever, or even you want to ask them, how about we go to Nyeri? It's not like you are pressing it upon themselves, but helping them to appreciate, we want to go to Nyeri because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. Or even the very basic thing of asking, when can we meet? The very common question, when can we meet? And you want people to see, and you want people to, you're asking them, for example, guys, we need to finish or to finalize this plan by this date. So when can we meet? If you're going to make it open again, you'll hear people having different answers. But because you know that you're limited again with time, and you need to finalize that thing, you can ask a question like, do you people feel that we can meet, are you available on Wednesday, for example? so that many people now start thinking towards Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it helps in that element of now guided democracy that way, so that you are not going to waste time and asking everybody. Maybe you are 50 of you in that room. You cannot always get a consent.
You can do sampling.
Exactly. So
you can do sampling.
Just do some quick survey within sampling, of course, having limited opportunities and then helping them. So there are times that you need really to have your rod with you as a leader, and there are times that you are going to embrace the ideas of people. But whatever you're going to do, listen to your people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, that point of listening to your people is kind of complicated. You, the youth say you were. Yeah. So because I think it cuts across. Like when you're a leader, I think we all agree. We all agree that we are supposed to at times apply these kinds of leadership. These styles of leadership in our time, right? But again, I think being a leader is more complicated. Can you say it's complicated? Because unapata like in a group of people, yani mi nikiona watu wako na different, so different. Like you're with people who you don't know. And maybe if you know a few of them. Alafu kuna mtu tu ako na tabia zake na huyu ako na zake. And there are these people that are not so flexible, like they just want to be stagnant. Hata ukijaribu kusema it's this way there. And then you see in a group of people, because I believe leadership mostly takes place like ukwe na a segment of people hivi, hata kani watatu ama wanne, that is already a group. So I'm thinking kuna wenye ni insiders, like it has different characters are brought up. So and I think that is one of the challenges that leaders face, because you see when that happens, there are leaders who like quit, and they quit because of they quit. Some of them quit because of people, because of whatever someone told them, someone they are leading told them, and someone they are leading demoralized. They have demoralized them in one way or another. Alafu akasikia kama hawezi fanya hivyo tena, and then now they decide to quit, and then sometimes pia unapata huyu leader. Like people are over him or her, like watu wamemzidi. So how does that happen?
Again, just to say that leadership is not easy. The responsibility and the burden that comes with it is not easy. So if you have chosen to be a leader, or if you've accepted to be a leader, you must understand that it comes with a burden and a load with it. One man called Dietrich Bonhoeffer, he said that when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. You know, it is not, if you are to follow Christ and to be like him and just to see how Christ lived his life out, even in mobilizing his disciples. He also had disciples who one wanted to be on the right, the other one on the left, and how he managed that. So understanding the team dynamic that you are having, and knowing the kind of people, knowing that you have different group of people that you are leading, just to understand, after you've understand the context and the setting of the people that you are leading, as a leader, you're not going to quit because of the pressure that comes with them, especially if you know why you are leading. These people will come with different needs and different problems and different issues, and somebody maybe some infighting amongst themselves, and some will want those privileges to be so close to you as a leader, and maybe some will want other members to see that, sisi ndiyo kusema because we are closer to the leader. We are like the deputies of this guy here, the big man here, the big man syndrome, and the big man, being the closet, the kitchen cabinet of the big man. I think
like that happened like in high school.
Exactly. So that kind of leadership is bound to fail. I think for me, leadership will be like willing to be with everyone. Be with everyone. understanding everyone. First, even at the very onset of your leadership, if you've been given that opportunity, learn to know these people, even if it will mean to go out for a retreat,
yes,
even if it will mean to be in some team building activities and some experiential learning activities, and being outside the environment, the normal work environment with these people, so that you know that if these people something triggers this person, and this person gets angry so fast, or this person doesn't like some kind of jokes, this person doesn't like us calling him or her such names or pseudonyms or whatever. So when these people are, as a leader, if you take that initiative to expose these people, so that even their very nature is also revealed and exposed at that moment, you are going to know the kind of people that you are leading. And at that time, if problems arise, then you will know even how to tackle those issues and those needs as they come. It is not good for you to quit at the very beginning because people are bad in something. I know it is there. Moses desired to quit because
even in normal, I think even in normal circumstances, like there are people who quit because of because they could not sustain the people they are leading. They could not sustain that heat because leadership at times it comes with a lot of heat, and at times one feels like they can't sit there anymore, and it's so hard for them, and they just say that they just step down.
I think before quitting, one should always go back to the giver of the call. Like who really called you to this task? And if the person who called to this task saw that you are capable and you are equal to the task, always go back.
Who or what?
The who called you. For example, that's why I was bringing in the example of Moses. He's leading thousands of people here. They are stiff-necked. They are quarreling and they're doing all those stuff. But Moses always went back to God, who had given him this task to lead. So it is always good, even before you take any initiative or action, it is always important that you go back to the giver of the call, who has equipped you, and and express yourself to him so that you are encouraged. But even at that moment, beyond the caller, also it's also good to be having peers, accountable peers, people who you can really share with them your leadership experiences, people who really can help you understand, by the way, these are some of the solutions you can give to this maybe difficult team, quote unquote difficult team to lead, so that you do not just quit immediately. You will not, you'll always be quitting if problems arise. But you always need to hear.
Once a quitter, always a quitter.
So it's important for you to always run back to the giver of the call, and the person who has entrusted you that responsibility is God himself.
You have to remember the foundations laid when you started being a leader, right? I think also the foundations are important. Whatever it is that pushed you to become a leader, that push, it's something that you should always remember whenever you're leading that group of people, and when something tries to bring you down, I think you should always remember the foundations that you laid, whatever it is that brought you, what pushed you, the motivation.
It's the motivation, the need, the vision itself. So for example, you want us to move from this point A, we are headed to point Z. So if you are really convinced and convicted that the place where the team needs to go is point Z, as long as you have that platform and that opportunity, strive to lead people. It will not be so smooth. It's going to be a rough way in itself, but be encouraged in heart, because those challenges will be there. So be encouraged, make decisions that really points people to the vision, but above all, also help people appreciate where we are moving from and why we are going and where we are going to.
Okay, the WH questions. So I think now that we have said that, so I think as a leader also, we need to in most cases we need to also understand, have a proper understanding of the people we are leading. Such that kukiwa na shida yoyote, or if because now we are dealing with different people, right?
Yes.
So we should know that Wiki anakuanga hivi, Nani anakuanga hivi, Nani likes this, Nani does not like this, Nani is this kind of person, and ni mtu anaweza fanya hivi, right? And when that happens, I think when you do that as a leader, as a young person, in most cases, I think now kukiwa na situations kama as for example nilikuwa nasema like incitement, or maybe there are these leaders who want to go this these people who want to go this way, and then wengine wanataka kwenda hivi. I think you when you know what kind of a group you are leading and understand the setup of the people you are leading, now it becomes easier for you as a leader to maneuver ways of solving any kind of problem that comes with the people that you are leading, right?
That's very true. And because you said that, and I know time may not really help for us to explain more, but looking at just summarizing the kind of leadership that Nehemiah portrayed, looking at how Nehemiah led his people, it was not a smooth environment for him, an easy environment, accepting environment for him, but really he knew the conviction that he had, he knew the burden that he had, that what guys, this wall must be brought up, and taking time, the closet time for him, and the place where he builds that conviction that he needs to go out, praying even before approaching the king, that he needs to go out and help his people, because he has been informed the condition of Jerusalem and the wall needs to be rebuilt. So here, there's the burden. We have the Sanballats around him, we have Tobias around him. People are really discouraging. People who are like, what, even you're not going far with this wall, even the fox will just jump over it and all that. But at that moment, are you able to be steadfast? Because you as a leader, if you show your people that hey, we are not really moving, or we are not going, and then that weakness is seen, you cannot be trusted. As a leader, we cannot trust you that you're taking us to a place where it's safe for us. And so I think it is very much important for us to understand these challenges, they are coming. So what is the solution to the challenge? Because the vision cannot stop. Or where we are going, we cannot stop at that time or at that moment. We must keep moving. We must keep crawling. We must, whatever we are going to do, we must keep moving to the very end. So if it's you who's going to finish it, or someone else is coming to take over after you, but ensure that the foundation and what you are laying is being, it's leading people to where actually God wants your team to be taken to. So I think it's very much important to identify the problems as you continue leading, because people will incite, as you put it, people who are going to incite even from within, from amongst themselves. But also the point here is, what solution are you providing as a leader? And which voice do you want to listen to? Is it the conviction that you built as you took up the responsibility to lead, or the voice of weakness and the challenge that's going to come in along the way?
I think that is okay. Now we all agree that as a leader, you need to understand your audience, you need to remember your foundations that you laid, and the need, right? The call, whoever called you or whatever motivated you. When you do that, you will be able to probably handle people the right way, and also that wisdom. If we call on wisdom now, I think leadership also comes from God. And we need to also seek His guidance at times, right? Actually, all the time. We need God's guidance, because if it's not Him, you can't even have that strength. Hata hiyo nguvu ya kuongea, hiyo nguvu ya kuongelesha watu, you cannot have it, because He's the giver of strength. That is the basis. The basis. The bottom line, ni God.
It is God. For example, when you say that it comes from God, look at the life of David himself, and see how he comes in. The book of Psalm 78 really narrates and how it ends. Towards the end of it, we see how now God has called David from the from the sheep pen, from the sheep pen to come and now to lead his people. The David kind of leadership was it's really something to be embraced and to be emulated, for believers. Because when you're looking at the posture of his leadership, seen in verse 71 and verse 72, that, that David led his people, or God's flock, with integrity of heart and with skillful hands. So you may be skilled, good experience, and all that, but what is the posture of your heart as you are leading? Is it a heart that leads from a point of integrity? Yes. Or do you just want fame, and you want to boast of what you have and the title that you have, or you just want to build everything around yourself?
Yeah. Because
so it is important. It is important for you really to have a leadership that springs from the heart of integrity.
Sure.
That now overrides the place of integrity and character. That overrides even the skills that you have. But that is not to mean that you do not need skills. For God, who calls us, equips us. He gives us those skills and the platforms within that he gives us. But what really will sustain us through that is the posture of integrity of heart.
Okay, so we are looking at integrity, and it's a very key thing in a young person who is a leader, right?
Yes.
The integrity of heart. And you've used, I like that example of David. Yeah, you see, he's one person that we can actually learn from. From his whole journey, or his whole life, until when he became. You see, he was actually like chosen, and I think he was not even ready for that, but then he was chosen, and God took him through that process, and at the end of it all, he became a very good leader. Apart from fame, I think we should not only focus on the fame part of it, we should also focus on the quality of the things that you have done. In many cases, because if you look at David, apart from that fame, there are many like killing. It was killing.
Yeah, he killed Uriah. I think you see now what happens is now those are the downfalls of leadership, because they will always be there if you're not going to take care of those little
we are getting there.
those little foxes,
where we have the merits and demerits of leadership, right? So leadership has its ups and it also has its downs, because it cannot just be straight. If it's straight now, it's not even it might not now be leadership. Lazima kukuwe na changamoto kidogo, alafu pia kuna ile wakati ambayo sasa tunasema it's now a good one, right? So let's just get right into it. Let's start with the good. With the good ndio tufurahie kidogo before tuende hiyo side nyingine, si ndio? So what are some of the merits or advantages of leadership? Of good leadership, maybe.
I think what maybe will override everything is just to see that God has invited you to be a co-worker with him. That first of all, this is where he wants to see his people moving or going. So just looking at it as a privilege, it's an undeserving privilege that has been entrusted to you. It is overwhelming to think that I am actually in this, taking up this responsibility. It is very overwhelming to think, and it is good. It should not actually be centered on ourselves. That, I am now leading you because I'm good. But just seeing that I am actually working with God in this arena to lead God's people this way. So for me, I think that is the major thing. But of course, there are also some good things that come with that in terms of, the experience that comes with that, the sharpening of skills that comes with that, the ability also, and the platform to exercise or to put what is the gifting in you in service with others. you know, serving others.
You are
looking at
able,
it as a privilege,
because you see, for example, as I was saying, personality, right?
Yeah.
If we go back, I think the experience of leadership, for example, it helps you to be able to interact with people from different places. You see, all of us were brought up in different scenarios or different setups.
Yeah.
But now when you come together and now you start knowing one another, you start maybe interacting or socializing in one way or the other. I think it gives you that opportunity to have that ability to interact or socialize with people in different contexts. At any given time, and that is actually the best thing. If you are able to fit here and also fit the other side and get along, I think that is one thing for me that stands out. And of course haiwezi enda tu nywe, but at least you are able to have a conversation. You understand people, and it's easy for you to deal with the people.
So that's true. That platform of even knowing people, for you it's already a privilege that not everyone will get it. But also you mentioned, and I think it's a place to build on, networking, because we keep sharpening each other. And you know, once maybe you have that rank of leadership in itself, you're going to get that platform to network with other people who probably are leading, and getting to see yourself in the mirror of others as well. Just as, you know, as the water, we can see our faces on the water, the same way, if you're going to interact with other people, especially within our peers. Peers, not really age, but even the leadership responsibility that you're having. So you can
other leaders,
amongst other leaders. So they will also help you to sharpen your skills, but also to see yourself more and the needs that is there. Just defining the needs and dealing with those needs with new partners.
And also maybe amongst other leaders, I think maybe as a young person, you get to learn more. You get to know more, and just as you said, your skills are sharpened. Especially, for example, yourself, you are a PA, right? But I know there are other leaders there that also have experiences that are bigger than yours. People have gone places, maybe people have seen things, good ones, maybe bad ones, and I think you get to have those skills. You get to learn more about them, about staff. Yani vitu just as they used to usually call them staff. Unajua staff, unajua staff mobs ndio kutoka kwa yani sasa in the leadership rank, because you are not alone, right? Where you are, and I think that one helps you learn more. Like for example, myself, I tend to ask for more information from the people that are above me. Not only age-wise or peer-wise, but also because they have already passed through that rank or situation, right? So I think the advantages of leadership, we cannot say that now it is this one, this one, and this one, because it's like three things that cuts across.
You really cannot say that there are some advantages, especially if the underlying thing here is privilege and the opportunity to serve. You know that at that moment, this is an opportunity to serve. So it's not something that you really want to look forward to. But you are looking forward to it because you are coming in to meet the need of people, to sort people, to guide them, to demonstrate to them what really needs to be done, and all those areas and opportunities that come with it. So it is very much important for us to see that leadership provides us with such opportunity to identify even issues, to think critically, and to identify issues that needs to be solved. Because there are people who are like, they'll just be seated there until maybe you become a leader, and then you are triggered in terms of solving issues, and you realize that, kumbe kuna konga na kipaji hapa, or some gifting in you that really you can really help the society or people who are around you.
Yeah. Okay, now that we have agreed kwa ground ya kwamba there is that socializing aspect and there is also that aspect of experience and also just as we have mentioned. So can we get to the demerits or the disadvantages or the bad side of leadership as a young person mostly?
I'll not really fully look at it as disadvantages because there is no disadvantage of becoming a leader. I think we need to look at it from, what are some things that we really need to be careful about as we lead, especially as young people.
Or maybe if you use the downs.
Because there is no disadvantage attached to it. It's probably what can really lead to for us to fall as leaders. It is important for us to think, number one, it is important for us to think that why have I become a leader? Especially at this time and not any other time. So if you're very careful about that, then then you're going to be helped. Again, we had mentioned about the posture of integrity. The ability to, not even the ability, the zeal for you to lead a leadership, to lead with integrity, because people's eyes are on you as a leader. You are showing them the way. You are leading them to the path that you want them to come to. You cannot be a leader who sets bad example. So you need to be a good example to all of them. I mean, to the people that you are leading. Always strive to show example that they can emulate from you. They can learn from you. They can practice from what you practice, what you are really demonstrating. Such a way that you can tell them that our way of life, how we lived among you. It is very much important for us, for you people to understand you that way. So seek to live a life of purity. If it's because young people, najua kuna ile, I don't know, I can try to put it in Swahili, but you can really be entangled with the issues of purity in terms of sexual purity and all that. You want to, if for example, if you're a gentleman, you just want, unataka kupita na kondo wako. It is very much important for you to understand that it is a higher calling that you've been called, and you must be responsible and accountable to God for our kondo that God has given you. So you do not see them as prey of sexuality that you just want to pass with them. With that, then you're going to fall sexually. That's guaranteed. You're going to fall if that is the lens that you're seeing leadership as. Again, it's the place of character, as you have said. That character is very much important. Character is all round. When we're talking about character, we talked about sexual purity, we talked about character. If you're not careful about it, then you are going to come down. Again, it's the place of communication and are you really, how are you communicating? Do you think you are communicating to be understood or just speaking? How somebody will say that, I spoke my mind. So it is important for you to understand that what the intention of your message is received as you intended it to be received. So that you will not say that, I made a mistake in that. Because you are going to ruin your relationship with others, or the people that you are leading, if you're not careful about the kind of communication and how you are communicating to these people. What comes from your tongue? Is it something that is encouraging? Is it something that builds up? Or it's something that destroys as a leader? We must be very careful with how we're going to use our tongues as leaders. But then again, are you kind of a leader who really who really enjoys power, who really wants to be worshipped? Because they are there. You want to show people that, the big man is here, and at this time it's me. It's me now who is leading. So you must know, yes, you must know that I'm around. You know what? So, and then you must follow what I'm saying. So it is important for us to be careful about that trend. Communication, sexual purity, seeking to lead a chaste life. Honoring God with our bodies, but also being accountable to these people, so that you are not like today's and cases that will be there is, hey, hata mimi alipita na mimi. you know.
Yeah,
and we are discussing and hey, mimi huyu leader simtaki, so because kwa nini alikuwa ameanza so 1 2 3 things nimeona you see, so it is very much important for us to be very careful about such pitfalls. They can really lead us down. They can really, because a single element of sin might do an irreparable an irreparable challenge of downfall to our leadership. You do not seek so much your reputation. Seek so much your character. Because your character is when you are with the people and when you are alone. Not what people are saying about you, not what people, okay, they will say nice things, but really you are towards a downward trajectory. But seek to lead again from the posture of integrity and servanthood.
So we come back to integrity
and servanthood
again, integrity and servanthood.
Yes.
And I think as we go for break, we can take that. You seek to lead. You seek to lead in a point of integrity and servanthood.
Yes.
So let's take a short break, and then we come back and get on with our conversation.
What is good health? How do we attain and maintain healthy living? We have answers concerning communicable, lifestyle, genetic and non-genetic diseases. Join me, Cecilia Mwariri, and our medical experts every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for informative and educative conversations. This is the 911 show on Nisi Television, where we transform lives through media.
6, 7, 8.
Hello, everybody. It's a sound of praise and worship to whom created us to be. Join me, Joy Temba, every Sunday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. live on Nisi Television for live Sunday service that is filled with the presence of God through worship, word, and encouragement.
If you gotta be for me, we love you, Lord. It's you I live for.
Hada itunda rĩa wega mũtũrĩre-inĩ waku, utakwenda kumenya no kaũrĩha ona ngĩkorwo. Mimi naitwa Zakari Njoroge, muimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili, na unatazama Nisi TV, the house of rest.
Now, welcome back, and we are going to continue with our conversation here. We left at where we say that the basis of the leadership, we should focus on the integrity and servanthood, as our guest had told us and explained to us. So we are still here with our PA, and we are still continuing in the conversation. And I just wanted I was just wondering how, as a leader, how can you impact the others or the society at large? Yeah.
I think as a leader, it is not the big things that count as a society. At large, it is the very small things that you're doing at that time that really counts. There's, for example, just walking and seeing a litter, you want to pick it. By doing that, the other person will follow suit. So it is not the much, for example, it is not what, what our politicians do. You build something, maybe which is substandard, something which is really not nicely done, for example, and you're finishing by indicating your name that it's me who did this, the I was here kind of mark, so that people may really know that you are here. So it should not be so. It is not the big things that we do. It's actually the small things that we keep doing consistently that matters and that brings change and impact in our society. Yeah. Yes.
So at what point can you say that now you have impacted someone, probably as a young person, maybe where you are? What can you say? At what point can you now say that I have influenced this person in this manner? Because you see, there are negative and positive influences. So at what point do you say that now you have impacted that person?
I think at the point of seeing that really there's somebody who can take over after you.
Yeah.
It might be one or two or three or even many. But it's at the time where you are able really to say that now I can peacefully leave, exit, so that the other person can take over my space. Because I have worked with this person, I have groomed this person, I've demonstrated my life to this person.
Yeah.
So at the moment where the other person can take over after you, I think for me that is really a successful kind of leadership at that time. So that when you're going to leave, there is no vacuum from your leadership. So that you are leaving people to do whatever they want to do or miss again the objective and the vision that probably you are doing. Remember that, maybe let me use this example that you might be there really not to, to do the finishing work as a building is done. Maybe you are there to set the ground, to level the ground, to bring the gravels one side, to cut the bush, all those dirty works.
Yeah.
And then the next person comes and raises some stones, then the other person comes and does the finishing. So the moment the successful kind of leadership is where there's a successor after you. And the successor who really can move on with the vision, the bigger vision, the greater vision of the institution or the group or the team that you are leading. So that you are not there, you're not a perennial, you're a leader who is going to die on the seat. But a leader who really can entrust another person. Because like what Paul writes to Timothy, that which you've seen me do and say, entrust to others, who can also be able to entrust to others. So we are entrusted so that we may also entrust to others.
Okay.
So it is a kind of, the successful nature is whereby we see that I've managed to do this, probably I was not to do everything.
Yeah.
But at the point that I'm leaving, there is somebody who can really take over after me successfully and lead others towards the goal. I think for me at that moment, then you are an impactful leader. It is not that at the point of, for example, most presidents in Africa, you're dying in power. You should not die in power. You need to entrust to other people so that you can also be led. And appreciate that there's a place where you also would want to be led by others.
So about the entrusting process. So all leaders are supposed to at least entrust that position to the other people. It's supposed to be that. Is it supposed to be that way?
Yeah, the responsibility to entrust lies with everyone who is in the task of leading, because you're not going to be there permanently. And especially if you're going to understand that leadership is transitional in nature. You may be there a month, 2 months, 1 year, 5 years, or whichever. Leadership, but then the institution or the organization or the team, if the team must live longer, the team's life must live longer than yourself, then you do not want to live at the point where you are going to leave a gap and a vacuum in leadership. Be intentional in raising other leaders. As a leader, be very, very much intentional. You may not raise, if you are leading a team of 50, you may not raise 50 leaders from that team. You might get maybe from them, maybe 5 of them, and have 3 of them, and have even 1 of them who really can actually pick after you. Not you making them a clone of yourself, not making them like yourself, but really helping them appreciate who they are, helping them appreciate the gifting and the call, so that they may also see, and that let that birth in them, the desire also to see the need, the gap, and the vision, and they can also take it up with others. I think that is a very good one. I think like all leaders, we should learn that art of knowing that you can entrust that leadership to the next person or another person. Maybe from the people you are leading. Most cases, make sure it's maybe from the people you are leading, or maybe if you're a role model somewhere else, you have that the entrusting ability, because there are people who surely there are people who maybe lack that skill, because they want to stay there for forever. And they do not want to leave that space to the other people. And I think now we know more and we know better, right? So something else that comes in mind, I just want to know, is there a point where you have always maybe regretted as a leader? Yes, those moments are there, especially when when you ask yourself, why was I a leader in the first place? Why was I called? It is not, because again we agree that it's not a perfect journey. It's not really a smooth journey. It's a journey that is that we encourage that really there are people who were here before and they did much that they could do, and then now it's me at this point. So moments that I would say that brings regrets, it's maybe the decisions that we made or that I made. You are supposed to do something probably when I really did not consult enough, and that brings the place of consulting as a leader, because you are not a know-it-all kind of leader. There is need to consult and to involve. When I did not do that, and when things go
south,
when things go south, you know what that really means, and the burden, and you feel like, wow, I really needed to have either involved or consulted much, so that probably the kind of mistake or the kind of trajectory that we experience would really have been sorted. So I think it's the place where I really did not consult much to what I wanted to do as a leader. That really brought problems. But I think if you really can embrace the place of consultations as a leader, consult your peers, consult those who are above you, consult even your team. Just ask them, how do you feel about this? Otherwise, you'll be ahead but without followers behind you if you're not going to be careful. You think people are there following you, but they're just there maybe because they do not have other options.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is a very dangerous spot to be. So you need to have people that you actually moving towards the same direction together, and they'll always want to be involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as a leader, it is okay not to be okay. Right?
Yes.
It is okay not to be okay, and now, as you're saying, it is okay to consult.
Yes.
What criteria do you use to consult? And who do you consult in this case?
Yes, consultation is very important. And when you're talking about who do you consult, what criteria do you consult, remember that at the onset of your leadership is, one of the basic things that you need to really understand is the relationship that you've created.
Yes.
Before being a leader, maybe having that leadership mantle, during the leadership also, the relationships that you build in the process. So it is important for you to establish and grow such relationships, so that there are people that you really can be vulnerable with them as a leader, because you don't want to die alone in the corner with the burdens that come with those issues. So there are places where you want to vent out your issues, you want to speak out your issues, and probably to get support system and all that. So the people that are going to consult are people who are maybe way ahead of you. You really want to ask them, how do I go about this? So maybe we need finances, we need resources for this thing, and you think that it's not, it's not like we are not moving anywhere because, or we have good plans, but we do not have resources for this. How should I go about this thing? So instead of you being discouraged at that moment, with the relationship that you've built, those are the people. They may not be hundreds or so, maybe 2 or 3 again. And just have people to consult. Those who are above you, but also those who are peers with you, those who can even see things the way you are seeing, or seeing differently. Understanding things the way you're understanding your context so much well and better, and then guide you. Because it is important for you to know who you are consulting. Very, very important to know who you are consulting. Remember the story, I think it's Jeroboam who came after his father Solomon, and the problems that came. When the father Solomon died, he wanted to, now leadership was upon him. So who did he consult? He consulted his peers and know what happened. And the kind of, the old people gave this young man some good ideas of how to lead, bearing in mind how their father led, how his father led. Now here he goes and he says, hey, that is not satisfying, and goes and gets some consultation from from some wicked peers. And you see the much ruin that caused to the community of Israel. So it is important for us really to know, who really am I going out to? What is this person? Is whatever this person saying, is it really in line with the agenda and the agenda of the call? The call that I have, is it in line with the conviction that I hold, either as a Christian, or just is it in line with the doctrine of the institution or the teachings of the institution, whatever I'm leading, or does it contravene all those things? So consultation is key, but know those that you are consulting with.
So the key point is you have to know the specific people that you are consulting, to avoid the dramas and all that.
Exactly.
Because you see, even in consultation, you don't want to consult and then you hear about it later on.
Of course, that's why I was saying that it's the relationship that we've built with people. Because leadership also comes with an angle of maturity. And now when you're talking about maturity, it is not age here. It is the wisdom of God that He has given you. And so, again, it's the company that you've kept, the close friends, and over time you've built that, and you know that I can really entrust these people with, confidently with my needs. Because all they're going to do is they're going to help me in terms of prayer, help me to pray about the issues, help me in terms of identifying the solutions to those issues, help me know what really I need to do at this moment. It is not like hey, I'm going there, but I'm fearful because the next thing that I'm going to hear is this person is so and so, and exposing the weakness of that leader. So it is the relationship that you've built that will give even confidence to the kind of people that are going to consult with.
To confide in them.
Exactly.
Because I also think as a leader, you cannot do it alone anyway.
No.
And also, should you be an excellent person, an excellent leader? Is there a point where you cannot say, yani you have, yani when ni mzuri kabisa, you don't have faults?
You know, pride comes before a fall.
Okay.
And you don't want to say that you're an excellent leader. But what should be done is the pursuit towards excellence in your leadership style and nature. So you must pursue excellence in leadership. Let people appreciate that this guy really pursues excellence and pursues that this thing must be done, or these things should be done in this way. That really builds up to the common goal of the team or the institution or the community that you are leading. So you are not going to say that nimefika, but it should be an onward, something that goes on and on, that you're saying that I'm pursuing excellence. But once umesema nimefika, and then now that's where the problem now starts coming in your leadership angle.
So tunafaa
let's keep pursuing
excellence.
Yes, let's keep pursuing excellence. And doing things perfectly. If it's time, for example, you want to show people that for example, we are going to meet for 2 hours. Demonstrate that, because they are going to appreciate that we need to honor God even with our time. Being good stewards, because leadership again is stewardship. Exactly. So it's the kind of stewardship. Maybe it's resources we have. We have things that have been left, the basket story, some things that people have fed, and baskets are remaining, some pieces are remaining there, taking the responsibility because we are being good stewards of what has been entrusted to us. So it is important for us to keep on pursuing excellence. We may not say that tumefika, but we cannot stop. We must keep on going on.
Tunajitia tu nguvu. And then we look forward to excellence.
Exactly.
Definitely, even in everything that we do in our day-to-day lives, I think we should. We are not perfect, and we cannot be perfect. As maybe you may want to, but we should pursue excellence. That is what you are saying, right? And I agree with that. 100%. You should not just do it because of doing. We should aim at the excellence. Ndio hata entrust to another person, huyo mtu pia is learning from the best.
Exactly.
Right? Now it's easy for them to look forward to also the excellence part. Right? And looking at today's society. Where everywhere we want to be covered, like as the young leaders or as the youth, we want to be in the leadership sector, so that we are also able to impact the young people in one way or another. We can also carry their grievances to where it's supposed to be. So what is the essence of the young leaders in the society? We really need leaders, for example, young leaders. The problem that I'm seeing is that we have there are two ways of looking at it. Number one is there are people or young people who wants to go to leadership as an act of rebellion, as an act of rebellion, where they want to see that tumenyanyaswa sana, hata sisi tunataka sauti zetu zisikizwe. Okay, not in a good way, but really hata sisi tunataka tu nini, really as an act of rebellion to prove a point, not really to solve the needs of the community. I'm not saying, do not get me wrong, I'm not saying that we really do not need to go there, especially because we've been called. We can also do maybe advocacy
of the challenges that we're facing as a community, especially as a result of failed kind of leadership that we're experiencing. So the young people will always go there because of rebellion, and not really because of that, maybe advocacy, and just to see there's need for change and what we are saying about transforming our community. And so again, when you're talking about the young people taking up the leadership mandate, you are taking up because it's a successive thing.
Yeah.
So that, yes, we are understanding that the old man has been there, the old man's time is coming up,
yes,
and we need to have a circle so that there is no vacuum in shepherding the people. We need to be, there's need for us to have that continuation of leadership in terms of but also the young people coming in with new values, because it comes with new value system is going to change. Skills is going to change. Talk about maybe some technological strengths that comes to the young people. It's also going to change. New dynamics and new ways of doing things, because it's just generational. There's a generational difference between the old and the young people. So we are not coming in leadership out of rebellion, or we are not seeking to be, okay, we know we have activists and all that, but we're not coming in from the heart, from that heart. Because what happens if we are not going to succeed? But we're coming in because we're seeing the bigger picture, that there is actually a problem in the society, a problem in the community, and we're coming in to partner already with those that have gone ahead of us and providing solution with them. Because there is no monopoly of wisdom and knowledge and leadership skills, either for the old people or for the young people. There is need for a synergy to be created, and so that the wheels of leadership may continue moving forward with both the young and the old.
So we need that combination.
We need a combination. We need that synergy. We need to learn from each other. We need to see what they did, why they did whatever they did, what was the context then, so that we may appreciate and respond to our time today and our problem today. Because probably the problem that we are facing could be the same problem, but the application of solution might be different because of a number of things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that is a great thing, and I think in as much as we are also calling for opportunities in the society to lead as young people, we also need to have that chemistry with even the old people. For us to come up with a way to be good leaders today, right? So thank you, Wiki, for that great conversation. It's been an amazing conversation, and I hope wherever you're watching us, you have learned one or two things, actually. And I can see people here. There are people who have also contributed to our conversation. Jeb Koech Langat says, as a leader, you should be a role model, always be ready of anything, because they will always look for weaknesses. Communication and objectivity is the key. And then there is also Dangel Owish says, Wiki is my leader. His leadership is that of servant leadership. We have Alfred says, nice work, Faith. Thank you so much. This is a real politician. Teachers are always gifted. Thank you for your contributions. So I just want to say that leadership is a wide thing, and maybe next time we will dig into it more, right? And have it given to segments so that we look at it in that perspective. But today we were just going like in general and looking at the general things that consist leadership, especially as a young person. And as we have seen here, we have done so. We appreciate everyone who has been with us. You can see Margaret Lumbasi, Muhoma Patrick, Alfred, Laura. Thank you guys. Arab, we appreciate you. And now I'll say that we have to come to the end of our conversation today. Our guest here is called Wycliffe Omondi again, and he's a PA in International University Leadership. And your host today in the Youth Flex show today and in the coming shows, which happens on Fridays. Just a reminder, it happens on Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We have great lineups for you. And as a young person or even the older people and our fans, you should not miss this. We appreciate you so much. And we hatuna budi ila kumalizia kwa hapo sasa as we wait for the 1 p.m. news and also Kurunzi Anisi here at 7 p.m. Thank you so much, guys. And even as you go to work, as you go to anywhere, just remember to keep it peaceful. Talk to someone in a very peaceful way and preach peace wherever you go, bearing in mind that we are almost headed to our elections. May God bless you. May God bless you wherever you are, wherever you go, and you have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.